this video, we're going to show you how to set up reconciliation for your servicing account and then go through a reconciliation example. To begin with, what you're going to want is an adjustment loan and borrower. So we're going to add a new loan to the software. And I'm going to call this Z adjustments. We're actually going to set this into the declined or canceled status so it doesn't show up in your main portfolio. And we'll set this back. The only other important piece of information here, other than borrower and lender, is going to be the origination date. We want to push that back to prior to your reconciliation period. In my example, I'm using our sample data, and I'll be reconciling for 2014. So we're going to go back to 2014. I'm going to add a new borrower to the system. Z borrower. Or adjustments or whatever. Same with the lender. Remove the default lender, add a new lender. Alright, and so that account, if you ever need to see it, I've put it in the canceled status and it's going to be in the canceled folder. And basically what you do here is you make various adjustments to your account balance. We'll come back to that in a few minutes. Let's look at creating a new reconciliation period on the servicing account. We have a reconciliation button here, and when you click it and click Add for the first time, it's going to want to know your ending balance of the statement, and what you're going to want to do is set the date to the month just prior to the first month you're reconciling in. So since I'm going to be working in May of 2014, we're going to start by closing out April 2014. And if you don't have your balance when you start this process, that's okay. We can enter it later. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so I've got all kinds of activity here because my data goes back into the ages. If you're just starting, you won't have so much here and it'll be really easy for you to close out this period. What I'm going to do is, with all this old transaction data, I'm just going to go ahead and clear all of it for this period, which is prior to the first period I'm actually going to reconcile. So I'm going to click Select All. It's going to check everything, and it's going to tell me from my ending balance, which I have currently 0, and with the clear deposits and transactions, I've got a difference of negative 168,000. I can enter that here, and that's going to give me a difference of 0. I don't want to start there, so I can show you the example of what happens if you have more money in your servicing account, or your bank statement says that you have more than you currently start with in Loan Servicing Soft. You're going to need to set that up in the adjustment account. So for the time being, let me save and exit. Save the work. And we're going to enter a transaction into this canceled account. Make sure that the date is prior to your period that you want to reconcile. I'm just going to go ahead and set this beginning of the year. I'll make it an irregular payment as well. And I'm going to increase my beginning balance by 100,000. Make sure that goes into the unapplied funds. It's going to be held there for use later. In this video, we won't get into how that's going to be used. That's going to be in another video in the series where it comes to paying fees and such that the bank may charge on your account, or various other adjustments. Look for the adjustments video. For the time being, let's post this. Okay, so what did that do? If I come into my servicing account and I go into the reconciliation area and open this current period, I've got an outstanding deposit to clear, which shows up on the right for $100,000. Let's find that in the list. Right there. Clear that, and that increases my balance to where I want it to be. 268, 228, and 96 cents. And that should match, if you have completed all these steps to your company data, this number should now match with all the cleared transactions the statement ending balance for the month prior to the month you're reconciling. So we'll reconcile this, and that's going to tell you that additional work within this time frame will be locked once we close this period. Okay, that includes entering transactions, editing transactions that are in the software for that period or before. Those are now locked because they've been cleared and reconciled. So now we want to go through a reconciliation example. We're going to click Add, and it's going to automatically take us to the next month. You see I've got some check data that I can clear, some deposit data that I can clear. What you have to do now is look at your statement, your bank statement, and go in and say, yeah, that looks correct, that looks correct. I recognize these transactions. And once you, be sure to enter your actual statement balance here, whatever that happens to be. And then once you have a balance and you've cleared your transactions, you should find that you have a zero difference between what your statement says and what our books say. Once you reach that point, you can click Reconcile, and you're off. If you don't have a zero ending balance, or if you have a number here like I do, that means you have some uncleared transactions or something needs to be inspected. That's going to be something to look for in another video. We'll show you how to pull the proper reports and make the adjustments.